Daydreamers unite.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Chemical X Podcast, episode 9. This is your girl Amber, and I'm here with the guys Don and Kevin. And today we are talking about what's the future of the James Bond franchise and who should be the next James Bond in our hot topic. Check out what your favorite Black Geekazoids have been up to in our Nerd Ventures segment. But first, let's jump into the X news, starting with Don. Don, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, and you know why? Because Harry Potter and a Cursed Child. Is it Cursed Child or Cursed Child? I don't know. All I know is it's Harry Potter, and it's a play. It's in the UK. If you know what I mean, man. Sorry. It's in the UK. It looks crazy. The damn previews, are 1 week from now. And I'm looking at a
That's the
picture
one
of
where they have a black actress as one of the
as
that lead.
Hermione.
Yeah.
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure. I need to do more research, honestly. I should have did more research, but I'm pretty sure. Let me look. I'm looking at pictures of the cast now. I just see Jenny. I see it looks like Harry, uh Albus Severus. Wow. It's like it's a sequel to it takes place right after Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I assume. Um Yeah, it takes place 19 years actually after Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. I'll just read a little bit from Flavor Wire. In that book's
This is a
epilogue,
play.
yes, it's a play. It's a play. So it's not a movie, it's a play, but it takes place 19 years after Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. And in the book's epilogue, it was revealed that Harry and Ginny Weasley had gotten married and had a son named Albus after the famous headmaster. Of course, Albus Dumbledore. So yeah, in the play, Harry works for the Ministry of Magic, and Albus deals with the fact that he was born to Harry Potter, one of the most famous wizards of all time, and how no child should have to live up to that kind of legacy. Wow, this sounds interesting. Kind of sounds like he's a little bitch, honestly. Like Harry had to go through all this shit, and now Albus is like, my dad was Harry Potter. You don't know what it's like
He
and
was too
shit.
fucking cool for me.
Yeah,
How can I compete with that shit?
yeah. He sounds like a
I'm
bitch,
trying
actually.
so hard not to go to sleep now that because we're talking about Harry Potter. One good thing I could not care less about Harry Potter. I do not get it at all. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So,
I just think
man,
it's
don't
that
make me
like
do it.
a few maybe like a month ago. I don't know if they were talking about this play or not, but there was this big who hurrah about Hermione being black.
Yeah,
And what is the author's name? J.K.
J.K. Rowling.
Rowling.
Yeah,
She said that, it's very possible that Hermione could have been black because there was no description saying that Hermione is a white girl,
of
blah,
course.
blah, blah. All it says is that she has curly, tangled hair or something like that. So she could quite easily be a black woman or a black girl. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I read like the first Harry Potter book back when I was like 9 or 10 or some shit. And I've seen some of the movies, but I kind of fell off, so not exactly super interested. But I do think it's cool that the author is willing to come out and say, hey, it's possible for Hermione to be a black girl. Never said that she had to be white, and she definitely gives the blessing to this play. I'm not sure if it's this play, but the play, whichever one that casts Hermione as a black girl.
I'm not sure if it's this play or not, but I can find out. Another thing is one of the reasons why I think she wanted Hermione to be black. Everybody wants some black people in Harry Potter. There's not enough black people in it. The only black person that I remember seeing was this kid named fucking Lee something. I forget his name. It's like Lee Daniels or some shit like that. He had dreads. I used to always look for him. Every time he was in that big ass cafeteria, I used to always look for the nigga with dreads because he was the only black dude in fucking Harry Potter legacy at all. And
I
another
think that's
thing,
one of the main reasons I don't care. Is like every time a white person writes a story, especially one that's magical, it's like it always becomes like the best shit of all times. I mean, even sometimes I feel guilty that I watch Game of Thrones. There's like it's
that's what I
always
was going to say.
sensationalized like white shit. You know what I mean? And it's like we don't be having no role in that shit, and then it just be
We
corny
be
as
so
fuck.
excited when we see that one black person.
Right.
We see Grey Worm, or we see the translator chick. We be jumping off our couches when they on screen, but they give us these little breadcrumbs, and I feel you there because I'm like, dang, I'm all involved with this show. I love it, but I don't even want to go watch Roots. You know what I mean? And I know it's fucked up,
That's
but I'm
terrible.
just
I'm
it's
the
just the
same way though.
it
I'm
is.
exactly
I'm
the same.
sorry.
I'm the
I'm not
same. Nah, don't be sorry. Fuck that. I'm the
I
same way.
don't care. I'm so done.
I'm tired of
Like,
watching
please
like
give us some sort
slavery
of fantasy,
stories.
sci-fi,
Yeah, with black
fantasy,
people.
whatever, Game of Thrones, anything. Just please give us a black cast with that shit. I'm just
Yeah.
so done. Why does the only movie have to be Roots? Why does that have to be like the
Some
thing?
slave shit. I was talking about that today. Like we done with slave shit. Every time it's a black movie, it's always a slave movie or a butler movie. Have you noticed that?
Every year,
Every
every
year they
year.
come out with some shit like that. Every year, and it wins all these awards and shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
the chick
Well, since
who's
y'all talking about that, I'm gonna change up my X news so that we can talk about this
Yeah, so we
subject some
can
more.
expand
yeah,
and
Go ahead,
okay.
Don.
talk about the
Real quick,
author.
I'm almost done. The chick who's playing Hermione is a black woman. Her name is Noma Du Wincy or some shit. She's a South African or she's a British actress who was born to South African parents. But anyway, she's gonna be playing Hermione now, and I can't wait to see that shit. Fuck yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And like I said, I think it's so cool that the author will confront her fan base because it was
Right.
really the fan base that was fucking tripping. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, Hermione's supposed to be this. It says she was flushed with fear. Black people don't get flushed. Black people don't blush, and all this other shit. And so J.K. Rowling had to say, hold on now, white people. I have black fans, and Hermione can be black. Like it's not I never said Hermione is this white girl. I never wrote that down in this book. So get over it. Let there be some diversity. If we love something and we're putting money into something, give us a shout out. Represent us because we're representing y'all. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Anyway, let me hop on over into some more white shit that you guys probably don't care about, but I know someone probably cares about it out there. I kind of care about it because I actually played World of Warcraft a little bit, maybe for about a year on and off, and I enjoyed the game. But what we're really looking at is the real world of Warcraft's box office predictions. Looks like Warcraft is bringing in the big bucks with their opening of 9.3 million in international markets, finishing first place in countries like Germany, Russia, and Denmark for 2016. Those are like all majority white countries and stuff like that. Anyway, with success overseas, you would think that we can expect Warcraft to light up the box office here in the US, but media tracking says different. It's been predicted that the opening weekend for Warcraft will only be 25 million, and that's far behind other big films like The Conjuring 2 and Now You See Me 2. Those are predicted to bring in a lot more money. So are these predictions bogus or will Warcraft flop? And me personally, I'm not a big numbers girl when it comes to whether a movie is good or not. Some movies that bring in a lot of money and big numbers can be horrible in my book and vice versa. So my definition of a flop isn't numbers based. But from what I've been seeing from people who had early access to this movie, Worldcraft has Warcraft has done the WoW fan base some justice. There are small parts and places in the film that take directly from the game, and they didn't have to put that shit in there. Like it wasn't for the sake of the plot. Just like a little wink at the fanboys and fangirls, say, "Hey, we see you. We're respecting that you love this title, and we're trying to bring it in this movie to you." So I definitely expect WoW fans to show up, and I think fans of the fantasy genre will show up as well. But I'm not sure if they'll surpass the 25 million prediction, partially because of all the bad reviews. And I'm taking all of these reviews with a grain of salt because I mean I think they're just putting a negative idea out there for people who were contemplating seeing the movie, and it sucks because some of these articles, like an article on Rotten Tomatoes and an article on Forbes, they're all written by people who haven't even seen the movie yet and people who have never played the game. They're just sourcing a bunch of negative shit about this movie and passing it along. And it's not like they have any real serious experience, like they've seen it themselves. They're just quoting other shit. And I think this is gonna ruin the opening for this movie. It's not even that it's a bad movie. I've been hearing good stuff about it, but I think all this negative stuff before anyone gets a chance to even see it is what's ruining the opening. And it's super unfortunate because this movie cost around I think 160 million to produce.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
mean that might have been a rookie call from Blizzard. As far as making a film, they probably shouldn't have dedicated this much money to it, especially for the first. I don't know if they're planning on doing a sequel. They probably shouldn't have dedicated this much money. So if they open with this low of a number, it's possible that they're not going to cover what they put out for the movie. So will it be a flop? I think it'll be a good movie for the WoW fan base. I'm gonna go see it, and I've heard that it's actually a good movie. But in terms of numbers, I think it will be a flop. I don't think even if they did great, that they will be able to cover that 160 million. That's a lot of money. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't think
that's
they
my
know how.
news.
Honestly, I think I think the first trailer I saw for it was pretty much just circulated online. I never saw that trailer again. I've seen the trailers that I've seen on TV and coming on before movies I've seen recently don't really make the movie look good as that first trailer does. And Robin Thicke's ex-wife Paula Patton looks ridiculous, and
That's her.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Paula Patton. She's
I
playing a
really,
half human, half orc, and they kept the teeth. So
yeah, I don't think they know what they're doing in marketing it, and that's hurt because I think part of it, I truly think, I wouldn't know. I didn't play World of Warcraft, and I'm not a fan. But I just feel like on the outside looking in, as a person who has just some general knowledge, um, I feel like people who played World of Warcraft and people like myself who know somebody who's played it or knows something about it understand that this is a World of Warcraft movie. But I think that they're trying to separate themselves from that in their marketing, where I think the fact that they called it just Warcraft and they have not done anything to kind of like directly, speak about the fact that this movie is about the game. I think that's their way of getting people to come see it who don't know anything about it. But I think that they should kind of advertise and be proud of the fact that they're making a movie about that game, because I think that would get people who've like heard of it and were never going to play the game but may be interested in what it is about the story that has made so many people love the game go to see the movie. I think that them not directly coming out and calling it World of Warcraft and just kind of being like, from the people who brought you World of Warcraft, one of the best games ever, here's the World of Warcraft movie. I think the fact that they're not doing that is a misstep. I really do.
I agree, and I think part of that is because they have lost a lot of support, a lot of people that subscribe and pay that monthly to play that game. It's gone down
Yeah, I've heard that.
since I last played it. That's what I heard. They came out with some panda shit, and everybody kind of stopped playing. I don't know what happened. But
Panda,
yeah,
panda,
I
panda,
think that
panda.
if they would have taken advantage of the fact that, so many people were playing this game when they were at their peak. I mean, they had celebrities, they had Mr. T on their commercials. They were really
Right,
popular at one point.
right,
So I
right,
agree. They should have jumped on the back of that and just said, hey, this game was popping back in the day. Now we're bringing a movie for the fans and for other people who just want to know about what it was about. So yeah, I definitely agree.
right,
They should have laid more claim to that.
right. I think you could capture the nostalgia of the people who left the game, and I think that you could also capture who you could use the same trailer that will make people be like, oh, that looks dumb as hell. They might actually be like, I want to go see it to see how dumb it is, because they may be thinking maybe it's bad, maybe it's good dumb. You know what I mean? Where it's like it'll be so dumb that I enjoy it, um, and
That
it'll be something that people want to go just to make fun of. I think without connecting yourself to that, people may just look at it and be like, this looks like a CGI mess of garbage. I'll skip it, and I think that's what's going to happen personally.
That's true.
my opinion of it is the Warcraft thing. I understand that World of Warcraft like wasn't the first game. It started with Warcraft and Warcraft 2 and 3 and all that other shit, and then like World of Warcraft. I understand why they wouldn't call the movie World of Warcraft just because World of Warcraft is the game. Like you never see that. Like it's like they call the movie. They don't call it Lara Croft Tomb Raider. They called it Tomb Raider and shit. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah, but
understand
I
that.
mean that's what I'm saying. Like that, somebody who knows shit like you knows that. You know what I mean?
But
But
I don't even play. I say that to say I don't even play. I fucking hate strategy games. I'm just saying, like I don't even play that shit. I
but
just know a
regardless, you
little
know
about.
that because you still have more knowledge than most people. Like I know I have more knowledge than most people, but not as much as you do to know that. You know what I'm saying? I only know about World of Warcraft because that particular, I guess, one based on what you said is the one that I know a lot of people who played. You know what I mean? And it's like there's a lot of people like me who know because I remember when people were calling it WoW. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the
Right.
fuck are you guys talking about when you keep saying, are you playing WoW tonight? And they were like, World of Warcraft. So that's what I know it as. And I know, like, my whole group of friends, the people that I know, they only know that shit by World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? So I just feel like they should capitalize on that shit because to
I
me,
agree.
as an onlooker, that was their most popular moment is the whole WoW thing. So it's like, I not people don't know that that shit started out as Warcraft. I'm pretty damn sure that the average person don't know that shit.
I
Yeah,
agree.
a lot of the older fanboys and fangirls probably people that came in earlier, but people like me, I came in on World of Warcraft. That's what I started
Right.
with.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Right.
Um,
that's when this shit
I'm just
really,
saying.
really should have needed.
I'm just. I'm just saying. I understand why they wouldn't call it that. And
I
also,
that don't make sense.
also, it's just that I am not a fan of Warcraft or World of Warcraft or any of that shit. I honestly don't like fantasy shit that much. But I remember seeing this and like gauging the audience's response and seeing how they were to the previews. A lot of audiences were kind of like initially like, "What the fuck is this?" And then by the time the movie or the preview is done, they're kind of like, "Oh, that's cool," because it just to me this CG looks great. It looks amazing. Like they look like real or whatever they call orcs, ogres, or whatever they call. They look like that
Orcs.
shit.
Yeah.
They look like they really could be fighting and shit. So, I for one, someone who's not a fan of Warcraft, I probably would maybe go see this if I heard the reviews were good. But initially when I heard they were making a Warcraft movie, I could give a fuck about it. But yeah, that's just my little
Man,
defense of it. I really don't give a
that
shit
shit gonna
about it.
bomb like Hiroshima, bro.
I hope it does because I hate Warcraft. They need to stop making them anyway.
They should once they went to that panda shit, I think it was time to let it go. And I mean, I think they kind of have. I'm not sure if they came out with any expansions after that. But now they moved on with Overwatch, and now they're making their way towards the console and stuff, I guess. So hopefully, maybe that'll be the next movie. Overwatch movie would be kind of cool. Anyways,
I need to play that game.
Kevin, you can go
What
on
you
with
mean?
your X news.
Yeah, so I was gonna talk about Brie Larson being looked at to be Captain Marvel. Only because I think that she's a great actress and I think that that'd be a good choice. But I think that I'd rather talk about Black Panther. I was trying to find a way to work that shit in here somehow. And so let's go with that. It's been announced that that cast will be 90% black or African. I'm not going to say African American because I hate that term. So
Too.
I'm just going to say black and African. Um, and I think that that's a really good decision. And so when we were talking earlier today about like movies that are predominantly black cast movies are always movies about slavery or civil rights. Um, so, and it was funny because Ryan Coogler, who's directing this movie, the guy who he also did Fruitvale Station and Creed, came out and said that this is the most personal movie that he's ever um, been a part of. I think that that's really telling now that we have the news that 90% of the cast is black or African. It makes a lot of sense in the sense now that um, this is clearly very purposeful, and Marvel letting him do that and really standing on the strength of his own filmmaking and things like that. I think that that is like really important, and I think that it could be groundbreaking because the thing is, if this shit does well, I think that it could create that, it could open the floodgates to you know predominantly black movies moving out of the realm of always being slave or civil right movies, where we can start to get some of our fantasy stories told. And the thing is, there's stuff to tell. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as white people like to tell stories about when they went into, when they were outnumbered against, a bunch of brown people and won, and stuff like that, you know, we never get to hear the stories of, the Zulu warriors and stuff like that. I mean, there was a movie made about that, but it was a very small release years and years ago. So I think the opportunity to actually start hearing these stories, it reminds me of Django Unchained, even though that wasn't a 90%, black cast. A lot of black actors came out against it, and directors. I think that's mostly because they hate Quentin Tarantino and found him to be racist. But that to me was interesting, just to see a wide release movie that was about a black guy that's going around, pretty much killing white people and stuff like that, and having his way with them, you know. Um, but even then, it's nothing like that. You know what I mean? Just to be able to have a fantasy movie that's 90% black, I think is an awesome thing. And um, I know that one of the motivations for Ryan Coogler making these decisions and really trying to get a black led thing that's in this fantasy world and taking the story so personal and spending so much time on it is because I know that he really felt disrespected after what happened with Creed. Um, he's the person who made Creed happen. He grew up a Rocky fan, wanted to extend the story, felt like the really wanted to extend the story by giving Apollo Creed a son to pass on the legend of the Rocky stories to, and had to convince Sylvester Stallone to even be a part of it. Sylvester Stallone decides to be a part of it. It's a small budget movie that made all its money back plus more. Did not have a huge box office numbers, but did well, hitting 118 million. Was Oscar nominated, but the thing was, the only people that they nominated, the only people who got nominated for anything that had anything to do with Creed, were the white people who were involved. With the most,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the most famous story of that is Sylvester Stallone being nominated for Best Supporting Actor. When I just saw Creed about last week, and I don't even understand why he got a nomination. In all honesty, it's Michael B. Jordan's performance that carries that movie, and it's not even close. And I think that if you're going to nominate Sylvester Stallone, then you have to nominate Ryan Coogler for getting that performance out of him. Because at this stage of Sylvester Stallone's career, who saw that coming in the first place? I mean, he got a guy to act who can't even use his face anymore because he got so much goddamn plastic surgery to it. So it's like, and then when Sylvester Stallone won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, he thanked everybody but Ryan Coogler. So Ryan Coogler was felt very disrespected by that. Didn't outright boycott the Oscars, but did decide to do another event instead of the Oscars and stuff like that. And I think that's very telling, that coming from that experience, where he's the one who was able to convince Sylvester Stallone as well as Hollywood to allow him to make the movie. Um, Co-wrote the movie with another black man, got the black cast that he got, made a movie that was so true to life with some of, like, I mean, the rappers that he had. The dialogue was very real and up to date. It was one of the more realistic movies that I feel like I've ever seen in a while. To do such a great job, but to only have, you know, almost the one white lead character in the whole movie is the only person to get nominated. That was messed up, man. So I think that he's on a mission to really prove that he doesn't need a lead, a white lead of any kind, or a white supporting actor of any kind to make a great movie. And this can be, for anybody who's black, who always wanted to, see us portrayed as the hero and not always the villain and not always the loser, and to have just one section of our history constantly told to us. It looks like this is the opportunity, man. So let's hope that it's really good.
Yeah, man. I'm like, take me to Wakanda. Take me to that shit now. Like, I'm super excited about it. And I don't know a lot of the backstory on Black Panther. I don't know much about his role in Marvel and with the Avengers and stuff like that. But I'm going to see that movie. I'm going to support it, especially if Ryan Coogler is the director. He did such a good job with Creed, and it's very unfortunate that it didn't get the show out that it should have, because it was a really great movie. Michael B. Jordan did a great job, and so did Tessa Thompson
Mhm.
as an actress in
Oh
the
yeah,
movie,
very true.
a black actress, and for them to portray her
You
with some
guys still
sort of
there? Did I lose you guys?
vulnerability, and she's not strong attitude snapping her neck, but she has this vulnerability. She has a hearing aid, and for them to portray a black woman in this light, and then also to portray black love in the light that he did, I thought it was phenomenal. It was a great movie. So I know he's gonna do a great job with Black Panther, and I can't wait to see it.
Was really was did a great job. Did a really great job, and um, we haven't. The only thing that we got to see as far as what he does with action is what happened in the boxing ring there. But still, those scenes were pretty good, and there's not a whole lot I can say negative about Creed, and it was definitely moments that I just felt it's great to watch a movie and to be able to relate to it in a positive way, um, rather than being made to go through some of the trials and tribulations of your ancestry, and that seems to be the only way that Hollywood wants to relate to us. So I'm you know, I decided to talk about that because it's a good story, and it's one that it can only be tarnished by the underlings of racism that we're going through these days, where it seems to be people want to be able to. I don't get the new form of racism that I feel like we're moving into, but um, it's lame. It feels like there's a section of people who just still kind of want to hold on to their prejudices, and almost want their prejudices to be tolerated. You know what I mean? It's like you know, but whatever, man. Fuck them.
And it also just kind of seems like a lot of the black community just wants to see this shit. Like they show up and show out for the Butler and the Roots reboot and all this other stuff, but a lot of people in the black community didn't go see Creed.
I
You know
didn't
what I
go.
mean?
I didn't go see
So
that shit because I didn't know what it was. First, I didn't know all the black involvement in it. I just saw it as a Rocky sequel, which I'm not a fan of Rocky, so that's why I didn't go see it. But judging off of what you guys just said, like it seems like I really have to go see that shit.
Yeah, I
oh
haven't
yeah.
seen any of the Rocky movies, but I decided to look into Ryan Coogler and just learning about him. I'm really, really, really. He's quickly becoming my favorite director, and
Hmm.
I up until this point I didn't have a black director to feel that way about, except for I'm lying because I can't remember his name at this time, but the guy who directed The Wood and also directed oh man, I can't remember the name of that shit.
Did he direct Dope as well?
Yeah, he did The Wood and Dope.
Dope was
I'm
so
really
good. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that movie was
and I
awesome.
love The Wood as well. And the fact that he made it so that those subtly made those movies exist in the same universe, where Stacy from The Wood is
Yeah.
the in the high
He's
school.
the
You know what I
janitor.
mean? Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like
That's
that was
crazy.
pretty damn cool, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so yeah, I'm into him. I'm into Ryan Coogler, and their stories really do motivate me as a person who I'm not sure how good of a director I am. Maybe I'll grow, but as someone who wants to make films and definitely writes a lot, both of those guys have written the films that they've directed. It's really given me some motivation and role models to look up to as far as having a career in filmmaking, and I feel like that they can do a lot of great for the black community, especially when they're being accepted in Hollywood to make movies that aren't just typical. slavery and civil rights movies. So definitely can't wait to see how that all turns out. But it sounds like it's time for us to get into the hot topic. Am I right?
That's right. I'll just end that note with hashtag take me to Wakanda. Let's go show up and show out for this Black Panther
Take
movie,
me to
y'all. We
another
have to
one.
support it. We have to be ready. So anyway, on to the hot topic. What is wrong with Daniel Craig? What's the future of the James Bond franchise? And who should be the next James Bond? Um, I'll start with just a little information about what's going on. Daniel Craig seems to be over the Bond franchise. He's been quoted saying things like, I just want to go home and rather break this glass and slit my wrist than return as this character. And I'm
Damn.
just like, yikes, what happened? Like, I had no idea he was feeling this way, or it just, for me, I just kind of
He
did
was
some
saying
research on
that
it. I'm like,
for
what
the
the fuck is
third
his
movie.
problem? Um, so I'm not sure if there's some sort of bad blood going on behind the scenes, but he clearly wants no parts of this title. And once his contract is up, I think he is dipping out. I think there's one or two more movies. I think he signed like a 5 movie contract or something like that. And I think the next one coming out is Spectre or something. And I think
No,
there's
that
one
already
more.
came out.
It already
Yeah,
came out.
Spectre.
Yeah, that movie sucked. The last
I didn't
three
even know it
of
came
those
out.
movies sucked. Spectre sucked. Skyfall sucked. Quantum of Solace sucked. And Casino Royale was the only good one with Daniel Craig's ass.
Damn,
Sorry.
son. Well, yeah, I guess that's why he's just ready to go. Because I mean, everyone, no one really wanted him for Bond anyway. They were like, "Who is this strawberry blonde?" Everyone knows James Bond is supposed to be slick, dark hair, tall, whatever.
I thought he looked too
Anyways,
damn old too. I was like, "What is old?" That's why I hate. Can I rant about James Bond for a second? Just this old. I never liked the concept of James Bond in my whole fucking life. It's some old white dude who saves the world with like a gun that's inside his watch or some dumb shit. It's like a gun, like that kind of dumb shit. I hate that shit. It's so stupid. It's like a
Usually doesn't
gun.
even save the world though. Like usually it's just like it's a little bit more grounded. It's just ridiculous. It's like the villain always wants to save, like, destroy the world, but usually, I mean, recently when it's gotten a little bit more serious, it's like they really are trying to destroy the world. But like, I went back and watched a bunch of the old movies, and honestly, when you watch the old movies, for me, I was like, okay, I can see why people like this because the old movies are entertaining, man. They're like it lived in a different world back then that as Daniel Craig said himself, I believe he was the one who said it, is that, Austin Powers really screwed us and made it so that they had to get a little bit more serious with it because they parodied the shit out of James Bond to the point where they couldn't kind of do those things anymore. You know what I'm saying? So,
I love those
but when you
movies,
go
by
back
the
and
way.
watch the old movies, yeah, the Austin Power movies are really great. They really are. But like, I had never watched James Bond. I had only
Right.
seen Austin Powers.
Me too.
You go
Me
back
too.
to James Bond, and there are things to really enjoy there. I mean, especially some of the ones that I've seen. People who are really Bond fans, they always say like Roger Moore is the Bond. But I really enjoyed when he was played by what's that
Sean
guy who
Connery.
almost sounds Irish? Yeah, John Connery.
Sean Connery. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Connery. I got to be honest, man. Like I enjoy the old Bond movies, so and I've seen all the new ones except for the most recent one. So, not to cut anybody off, but uh, I think that the way that they salvaged the franchise is going back to that. You know what I mean? Like, Austin Powers be damned, just having fun with it. You know what I mean? Making some ridiculous shit, and that's why I have I have two ridiculous choices for the new Bond, and then I have one serious one. Um, I don't know if you guys want to hear this or if you guys want to make comments first or what.
um, I'll just jump in real quick and just give you my background with James Bond. I remember watching it with my grandma, and I want to say it was the Sean Connery James Bond, and she used to watch him, and she used to be like, "That's a good looking man. That's a
Hmm.
good looking man right there." And she would just be watching it. I'd just be watching it with her, and it would be so fucking hilarious. The bad guys were so fucking funny to me. Like the guy with the silver teeth, and he was like biting through metal and shit. I was like, "What is this?" I'm like 10, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, but it's hilarious. And I think you're right. I think they need to go back and just get back to how it was. It was kind of almost comical, but this guy, he's running around, he's saving the world from these ridiculous villains, and he's smashing chicks, and he's on boats, and he's on cars, and he's doing all kinds of shit. I think they really fucked up by trying to make it too serious. And I seen
Yeah.
like one of the ones with Daniel Craig, and it was the one with a chick who was a sniper or something like that. I can't even tell you what the thing was about, but I feel like it was just too dark and I was bored. So I think you're right. I think they need to return to how they had it back in like the, what is it, the 70s and the 80s, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, yeah,
And
we can
Pierce
definitely go in and
Brosnan,
talk about
fuck.
who we think,
Yeah,
who you think could be James Bond.
let me say something real quick. I think another thing though on that point, because I feel like if somebody listens to us saying this, they could comment and say, "Well, the Pierce Brosnan I heard was goofy and wacky," but the difference is it wasn't aware of itself. It was trying to be serious, but it was being ridiculous. You know what I mean? And that's completely different. You know what I mean? When you're not self-aware, you're trying to be this super serious thing, and you got a guy with like diamonds in his face and shit, and James Bond like fucking riding a wave and shit on like what I mean, some bullshit. It's like you're taking it too far. You know what I mean? It's like like dumb it down and be aware that you're trying to be goofy. You know what I mean? Like don't be like trying to be serious, but then having like dumbass shit happening. But anyway, yeah. So who do we have playing Bond, guys?
A lot of people are talking Idris Alba. Everyone wants to see a black James Bond, but then some James Bond fanboys and fangirls just say it won't work. A lot of the reason being that Idris Alba is black,
That's
and
the that's the whole reason.
they're saying that a black queen the queen spy or whatever the shit he works for wouldn't work because he would stand out in a lot of the places that he goes. He'd be like the only black guy, and they'll know he's a spy because like, why is this black guy here? A lot of dumb shit like that, and I'm like, who
What
fucking
I'm talking
cares?
about.
James
People
Bond
be
isn't even fucking
bullshit,
real. Just
right? And
just
when
do
have you
it.
seen a James Bond movie where people haven't known that he's James Bond? It's like
That's
they
true.
always fucking know he's James Bond. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's always chilling, like he's so smooth and shit. And it's like, okay, don't nobody know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? Let me buy this bitch a drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do my thing. You know what I mean? And somebody like come up behind him and tase him and fucking take him in the back, like James, we knew it was you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing here? So come on, man, get the fuck out of here with that.
Man,
uh,
and he's walking around announcing to everybody that he's James Bond. It's not like he's
Right,
being covert. He's walking up to people and they're like, "Who are you?" "I'm Bond,
right,
James Bond." Like, motherfucker,
right.
you a spy? Why are you telling everybody who you
yeah, your
are?
government name too. Like, come on, man.
True.
I know your
That's
whole
what's
fucking name, first and
crazy.
last.
And he's supposed to have, and that's the funniest thing. His code name is 007, but he never, ever, ever, ever tells anybody that shit. It's
Yeah.
always like y'all said, like I'm James motherfucking Bond. You know what I'm saying? It's like he pretty much hands them his goddamn ID. Like, oh, who am I? Here's my ID.
Yeah.
And
You're
the
supposed to
bad
be a
guys are like,
spy.
"Hold up, let me search this nigga on Facebook real quick and find out who this dude works for." He got his
Yeah.
whole
Like MI6. Uh-oh. I know this nigga.
I
he go on
Google
his Snapchat and he's like hanging off the side of a building,
Yeah.
about to
on
go down, and
on Facebook it says used to work for MI6 and shit. Currently works for MI6.
takes a selfie hanging off the like a chandelier or some shit up
Yeah.
here at work.
It's like, wait, I
About to
seen this
tackle
nigga
this
hanging
bad
before.
guy. The
This
fuck,
nigga got an
Mm.
man.
OK Cupid page. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, this was me, you know what I'm saying, taking down Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fuck, bro? You ain't
uh
fooling nobody.
It's really
I
ridiculous.
just let's see what y'all are saying with the Austin Powers thing. That's why I want them to end James Bond. That's what I want to happen. Just stop it. You how many movies deep are we? Like 20 of these, 25 movies. The next one's gonna be Bond 25. Like, let's stop. This is the longest running movie series ever. Let's just stop at 25, call it quits, I don't care who you in with. I think honestly, if you're gonna do like a black action movie, make it like we were saying before. Make it just a black action movie. Don't just make James Bond black. To me, that's just so cheap. I feel
That's
like
true.
Idris, how do we say his name? I feel like he would be a good choice, but I would rather. It just seems like they're just throwing us a bone. Here you go, black James Bond. Just like everything else they give us, that's like a token black person and shit.
Like Blackula.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you watch Blackula? I watched Blackula. Fuck that
Oh,
shit.
I
It was
remember that
great.
movie. I
All them
used
black
to.
vampires.
Yeah, I used to see that shit at Video World back when people
Why he
rented
couldn't just
videos.
be a vampire? Why he had to be called Blackula?
It's because it was the '70s, I guess, and it was like a black exploitation type of film. I
That's
think.
cold
Yeah,
blooded.
yeah, they always got to do that shit, man. But for me, listen, man, I got three people I want to be James Bond, man.
Yeah.
Um, I got one serious one. My serious one is Kit Harington. You know what I mean? Um, he has the accent naturally. That's one thing people don't know about Idris Elba is that he's actually British. Because I've seen comments where it's like he's not even British. It's like you
Yes, he
fucking
is.
Yeah,
idiot.
you're an idiot, man.
Yeah. So I mean that's one thing. Fuck those people. But um, Kit Harington, he's actually British. He's young, so if they want to keep like a serious vibe, I think he plays that kind of like stoic, damaged person really well on Game of Thrones. I think it would translate really well. He has the whole hunk factor, so I think you would immediately, be able to keep the audience that you have that really always expects James. The fact that he's supposed to be a guy that men want to be him, women want to fuck him, and I think that's what Kit Harington is. That's what he is for me because I want to be the dude. If I had his face, it would constantly be between breasts. I don't know, but and I just feel like he's a good actor as well.
I love
So
him. They
yeah,
should
I have
keep
a
his
man
hair
crush on him.
long. Like they
Yeah,
shouldn't even
they
cut
should.
it. They should just let it
That's
be
what.
long and like slick it back. Ooh.
See, I'm right there with you. You know what I mean? Like, let him keep his whole swag, and it be the new, younger James Bond. I got a man crush on it, and I don't even mind admitting. You know what I mean? So it's like I would go see all 5 movies if they put that dude in it. That's my serious
They
one.
shouldn't even change his name. Like they should let him keep the Game of Thrones name. He'll be like, I'm
Right,
Snow.
John.
Jon Snow.
Yup, yup. And I'm with it. You know what I mean? I'm as you can hear, I mean, I feel like you can hear it in the way I said yup, that I'm just all the way with that shit.
Doesn't
So
even
that's
matter
my
what it's
serious.
called. Just do it.
Yeah, do that shit. I mean, that's my serious. I feel like that would actually work. But because I really want to see James Bond go into the world of like ridiculous and just having fun, I want James Bond to be played by Peter Dinklage.
Oh my God.
And that
Yes.
shit would be
Yes.
hilarious.
I
But then
vote for
also,
it. I vote for
he would
it.
have to like really be like willing to kind of like, you know, kind of play into the midget thing. You know what I mean? Which is what's great about his career because the first time I ever seen him in a movie, he was like the midget. He was supposed to be like the boss of some company. Can't remember what the movie was. And like he had a part where he like gets up and runs across the table to like attack a guy. And that's like what you always see with midgets in movies because it's like them like hopping on top of things. You know what I mean? To like do stuff. Um, so it's like early in his career, I think he had to take those kind of like demeaning roles. But he's really made himself into a serious actor, and I would really like to see him kind of like have fun with being like a little person, where I don't want it to be like obvious or anything like that, where it's like where he is being demeaned, but those like kind of like unintentional laughs that you would get from like a midget, like taking down like 5 dudes in a room and then like fucking one of their girls. It would be like that shit would be too hilarious.
That
Yeah,
shit would
like
be
he could just be
amazing.
super. It would be hilarious because he'd be super badass. Like he just
Right,
straight offing dudes
Right.
in the best way.
And
right.
no
And
one.
then like the unintentional laughs that you would get, like just imagine him just like repelling into a window and like 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 flipping over
Walking
like 3
straight
or
up
4.
in the air duct.
Right, right, right,
That was
right.
cold blooded. I want to take it back. Let's edit that out. I feel bad. That was
No,
not
man,
nice.
no, that's
This
not
is kind of insensitive to little people.
that's
That was very
But
nice.
I don't know if they give a fuck about what the fuck we saying. I would really like to see that. I'll probably I would like it to be kind of like an Avengers Joss Whedon type of thing where it is he's supposed to be like a little person saving the world and all that shit. It's supposed to be funny, but it's done right. Like motherfuckers in the movie, like it's kind of meta. It like people in the movie like, what are you here to save the world or some shit? Like people would like make fun of the fact that he's a midget, and like it would be funny like him sneaking like into a place but not having to sneak into a place because can't nobody see him. Like he'll just be walking into that shit like regular style, and that would be it.
See
That's
what you
his.
just said. I'm with that. I'm with that
That's like his
100%.
infiltration technique and shit. Like that. That shit would be amazing. I would love to see that.
I just don't want anybody to actually reference the fact that he's like a little person. And if they do, maybe have something in there where like, he responds to that by like really just like brutally beating the fuck out of somebody who
Yeah.
goes there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's like I want it to be like Jive taken seriously to the point where it's like, you know what I mean? Like nobody really references the fact that he's a midget, so you get all your laughs from just the actual fact that this like midget is just like fucking unstoppable. You know what I mean? And it would just be funny without them having. And then like you could do like you could do like those ridiculous villains again. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it would be like because now the hero is ridiculous, and that's the thing about James Bond is that he's fucking ridiculous.
He
He's
is.
not good at his job. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's really not.
he's like yeah, he's just smooth, you know what I mean? So he gets away with like not being good at that shit. Like he's more focused on drinking and having sex with women, you know what I mean? And it's like when he decides to get serious and like actually stop the villain, he can do it because he's smooth. He talks his way out of shit. And that's what Peter Dinklage is. I feel like that's the role. I feel like that's what he's become in Hollywood, like smooth talking, you know what I mean? Gets the job done, gets the lady and stuff like that. I mean, he does that. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like I think that it would be like unintentionally the most hilarious shit ever.
I agree with that. Peter
I think
Dinklage
it'd
for
be really great.
007.
We gotta get this started, man. Let's get that shit trending on social media, man.
Peter Dinklage for Bond. Let's do it. I'm all about it.
Who's your other dude, Space? Other
Um,
actor.
I wanted to be Dave Chappelle
Oh my gosh.
because if you're gonna go black and you're gonna go back to like the fun Bond, you know what I mean? Who better than Dave Chappelle? He's now jacked up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He's
that's
gained
true. That's right.
Yeah, he's gained like 50, 60 pounds in muscle easily. You know what I mean? Um, he's still very, very funny. I've watched some of his more recent stand up on YouTube. Very, very funny dude. But now because of his change in image, I think that I think that he could be respectable in a role where it's like, I'm gonna whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
then make it funny too. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I feel like he's due for like a return to Hollywood. So those are my two, man. Like Dave Chappelle, Peter Dinklage. But if you're gonna stay serious and dark and brooding, then give me Kit Harington, and I will pay for any of those three. I would pay for Idris Elba too because I'm a big fan of Idris Elba, but I would pay for the DVD. But if you want me to actually, if you want a big time opening weekend and me to be a part of it, my $12 or $18, how much it costs now, shit is getting out of hand. To be a part of your opening weekend, I'm gonna need it to be Peter Dinklage or
Hmm.
or Dave Chappelle or Kit Harington, flat out.
I hear that there was talk of a Jane Bond.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, that they might make it a woman.
I don't know who I would want for that. I I I would want like uh I don't know, maybe like Janelle Monáe or something like that, some British singer or actress. I can't really put a finger on exactly
Funny
who,
that
but
you
I think
say
that would be
Janelle
pretty.
Monáe because the way that she dresses already kind of gives you that Bond vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and she, according to her music, is very sexual. But I think that's the thing that you run into with making it a female Bond is that I think there's going to be an expectation that all of his traits are kept, but just in a woman. And I think that's
Exactly.
where uh, I think you're going to have, you know, women's rights groups upset with a woman being portrayed that way because that means she's gonna have to drink a lot. She's gonna have to fuck a lot of dudes, and I think that. But I think there's gonna be people out there who are gonna be like, "Oh,
I,
that's
I
I
not
think that
acceptable."
would be absolutely wonderful because there is a double standard, a real double standard about a woman's sexuality versus a man's sexuality. And that comes up, you know, with this type of movie, with the way the James Bond character is portrayed, where he's a ladies' man, and that's a good thing. Would we get that same feeling if it was a Jane Bond sleeping with all these guys or girls, whatever they plan on doing with that? And would there be a stigma on that? Would a
I think
women's right group hop up and say, "Oh, you know, she can't do that because she's a woman," and that would kind of suck because we have a right to sexual freedom too. If we want to smash dudes and then kill them with a pistol, we should be able to do it just like James Bond does it. So
I agree.
I
I
don't
think it would
think
be groundbreaking if there was a
I don't
James
think that
Bond.
would be a problem. You have Scandal and shit. You know, if you watch Scandal, Olivia Pope is just like that. She's a drunk who fucks a lot, and she's a powerful black woman. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I feel like that could definitely be done. But I really just want to kill the fuck off James Bond. I just hate the whole legacy. I hate it so much. It's just it's an old dude saving the world with a gun that's inside of his watch, and he presses a button, and the gun
You
pops
don't
out of
have
his
That's
watch
what I
and
think
shit.
they're fucking up at. I think they took away all the cool ass gadgets.
This is so dumb.
That's great.
I
Like, give me
hate it
a
so much,
rifle that
yo.
pops out of a pocket watch or some
Like that's
shit.
oh
Like,
come on. Oh my god. I just
Now that's
can't.
that's
good.
what I
That's
want.
what makes James Bond fun. What's not fun about it is like like you said, Amber, taking away all the gadgets and making it a little bit too serious because we already have spy movies that have kind of taken. I mean, we look for that. I mean, like not really Bond. So it's like got at the same time. It's kind of like need us was something good until Pierce Brosnan
Hello.
like that.
Can you repeat that? Space, you were kind of breaking up.
Oh, I was saying I think Pierce Brosnan and Austin Powers had an effect on the James Bond that we have now, but we don't need Bourne and Bond. We need. I think that I think the Bond franchise is actually something that makes Hollywood better, makes Hollywood fun, and I don't want to see it go away personally. I just wanted to see. I want to see it go back to being fun. That's all.
Yeah, like bring back the gadgets, bring back the golden gun. Like that's what I remember because I played the game. You know, the four-player split screen first person shooter, fucking up your friends, local co-op. That's what I remember. All the cool fucking gadgets, the golden gun, that shit. So if they just bring that back and not try to make it.
Kingsman is taking that. Kingsman is taking that whole lane. You know what I mean? So, um, I mean, with Bourne and Kingsman, they're not going to have anything else to do but to go ultra goofy. In my opinion, they're going to have to get that lane back before it's gone.
Mm-hmm. This is true. This is true. Well, I guess we could wrap up the hot topic. Anything else on Bond franchise?
Charlotte. Who said that? I think it was
Did
my
your
cat.
voice crack?
No, I think it was my cat. I thought he
Your
was
cat?
asleep.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about your fucking cat.
Yeah, he doesn't like James Bond either. Apparently. Shut up, Charlie.
How's that going for you?
It's crazy. He just shits and sleeps all day though.
Don got a fat cat named Charlie. Like, what the hell?
What's his name?
Charlie.
Cat name is Charlie and it's fat.
Charlie?
He is not fat. I'm just kidding. I was calling his ass fat today, man. I was like, you
Oh my
big
God.
fat ass cat,
Well, he
man.
long hair, so he look fat, but
Right,
he's
right,
also
right,
just fat for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, you could make money off of him. Start taking pictures of him and creating memes like Grumpy Cat.
I say sorry, Charlie, like 10 times a day because he always getting in my fucking way and I step on him, kind of. I was like, sorry, Charlie.
That's hilarious. I wish someone
He's a
would
good
give me a
cat.
random pet, a random cat. I told you me and my daughter went and fed a stray cat the other day because we're so lonely in our house. We don't have any pets. So we were like, fuck it, let's go feed this damn stray cat some chicken nuggets and call it a day.
Oh, he ate it?
Yeah, he ate them shits.
That's
He
crazy.
gobbled them bitches up. It was so fucking
Stray
funny.
cats will eat anything. House cats are
Mm.
very picky though.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him, so I hope he's okay. I hope it didn't like make him sick or some shit.
It
Anyways,
probably did.
He's probably like, I shouldn't have ate them nuggets.
shouldn't have ate
Oh.
them chicken nuggets. Them damn black people giving me chicken nuggets.
They want me to
Anyway,
have
let's.
cholesterol too. Oh shit. Nah.
Oh my gosh. Let's jump into these nerd ventures. Don, I hear you are
Word.
going to Wizard World Comic Con this weekend. Tell us about it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There's gonna be a lot of celebrity guests. It's gonna be low key Tom Hiddleston. It's gonna be Captain America, Chris Evans. It's gonna be Thor, Chris Hemsworth. It's gonna be Michael J. Fox. John Cena's gonna be there. Stephen Amell from Arrow. Sebastian Stan or the Winter Soldier. The Bella Twins. Anthony Mackie, George St. Pierre. A bunch of people gonna be in the house, and I can't wait. I just hope that they're not like behind the fucking electric fence. You can't talk to them or some shit. Hopefully they're approachable like some of the other cons I've been to, and I can get some questions and some good footage and shit for the channel. Get some interviews. Hopefully I can talk to Haley Atwell and seduce her with my English accent, and maybe who knows, something will happen with that.
Mm-mm.
Oh shit.
Did you say mm-mm?
Mm-mm.
Okay. See, that's a
That sounds
hater
like
right there.
me.
Is all the way across the internet hating and shit. It's kind of sad.
Damn. I'm rooting for you. I hope it
I'm just
happens. If we don't hear from you next week for the podcast, then we know.
I either got killed or
We know that her
it's
bodyguard strangled that motherfucker in the middle of
oh
that's
shit.
what we know.
See, Space is a hater.
Space is a realist.
Nah, that's hating.
That's for another bad inspirational quotes day.
Yeah, he want the homie to get killed. This is wrong.
Just behave yourself. Get in line early, man, so you can get those, so you can talk. Because it sounds with that many stars, man, I can only imagine the type of crowds that's gonna be there. So hope you
Yeah,
have fun.
Bring a
yeah.
lawn chair, maybe an umbrella. I'm not sure it's gonna be hot. Bring a fan, portable fan. Is
Mm-hmm.
it outdoors or indoors?
It's probably gonna be indoors. It's probably gonna be in some big ass convention center somewhere with no windows and a whole bunch of people dressed up like comic book characters.
I have got to go to a con. I've been
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
looking
usually be
online.
there,
I
but I
want to
have
go to
shit.
one. One day.
word
Maybe me and
up.
my daughter will dress up and go.
Yeah, I'm snatch your number. That's happening.
Cool
Okay.
beans. Well, have fun, dude. Make sure you get some good footage and take
Yeah, I will.
pictures.
I will be taking a lot of pictures of Haley Atwell. Nah, that's
Stalker
a
mode. Me and Bay taking
super
a
creep.
selfie.
Super
She's not
creep.
even looking in your direction. I'm sorry. Okay. Uh, let's
Shit.
jump into my nerd ventures. I really haven't been doing shit. I think I need an intervention. I need someone to rescue me from this addiction that I have, and I am addicted to Fallout 4. I recently picked it up, and I'm late to the party because people have been talking about this game forever, but I just wasn't buying that this game was that lit, and it is clearly that fucking lit. I have relinquished my duties as a wife and mother fucking around with this game. My daughter is like, I'm hungry. She's like walking around the house, I'm hungry. And I'm like, okay, baby, but this settlement has no defenses. It's way too low. If I don't fix this shit, they're going to get attacked. Your hunger will have to wait. And then I toss her a bag of animal crackers. So don't call child services on me. I am feeding her. It's just not coming as quick as she wants. I'm not starving my toddler over Fallout. Just wanted to add that disclaimer. Um, it's truly engulfing my life right now, and it's probably because it to me it feels like so many games encompassed into one game. It has the action, it has quests and weapons and upgrades and shit, just like other Bethesda games like Skyrim. And I'm a big Skyrim fan, and that's kind of what I thought what it was going to be like, but it's a whole different animal. Um, it even has like a tower defense like theme within it. You have to build up these settlements. You have to make sure they have defenses, food. You have to garden. Like I'll literally spend hours just running around sanctuary, building buildings and putting beds and all types of other shit. So I am having a lot of fun with this game, and yeah, so that's literally all I've been doing with my life lately.
Yeah,
So
the settlements are a new thing with Fallout 4. This is your first Fallout game, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Fallout 3 and New Vegas didn't have them. This is like a whole new thing, and you can definitely spend hours in those settlements. And it's so, like you said, so many different games. When I first got into Fallout, I thought it was a first person shooter, and I wasn't really into it at first because it's really kind of like turn based, kind of somewhat when you get into the little battles and shit like that. Depending on how much you level up your gun or weapon or what have you. But I just think it's great. I always tell people who don't play Fallout but they play Skyrim, I just tell them it's Skyrim with guns, cause that's kind of how the fuck it is. It's Skyrim, but it's like in the future with guns and shit, and it's a little bit more stuff you can do. And yeah, I fuck with that game heavy. I gotta beat it. Can I ask how far you are with it?
I am level 13.
Where are you at? What part are you at?
Right now I just been kind of focusing on the Diamond City quest. I've been chasing
Diamond City.
around Nick Valentine. I just got
Ah,
him.
okay. You at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah.
What I did is I started a build, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing because I was expecting it. Like going into it, I was expecting it to be like Skyrim with the way you level and the points and how that works.
Mm-hmm.
But Skyrim is a lot less complex than the point system in Fallout 4. So
Right.
when I got into it, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So then I went online and found a build that I would be interested in because I always play kind of like a roguish, stealth, sneak person that either has
Mm-hmm.
long range or powerful non-automatic weapons. Like it would have been a bow in Skyrim, but so yeah, that's what I usually play, and so that's what I did. I found a build that I wanted, and once I got that squared away and figured out the point system, everything just kind of fell into place, and I'm like, this shit is really fucking cool. This
It's
game is cool.
it's
So,
it's imperative too that you gather fucking everything, cause you
oh
never,
yeah.
yeah, cause you
Yeah,
never
it's just like
know.
Skyrim. I would just pick up all type, but you know, I think the crafting and stuff is also more complex than
Oh
Skyrim
yeah,
because a lot of
oh
the
yeah,
shit you pick up in Skyrim you don't need. Like I
yeah,
don't need this wooden plate,
right, right.
but you might need this fucking aluminum plate in Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need that aluminum and you need that steel. So just go ahead and
Adhesive,
pick up all that shit.
adhesive is like a motherfucker. Like you need adhesive if you trying to get some shit done in that game. Like whenever I kill people for adhesive and shit.
I'd be like, get that duct tape, son.
Yeah, yeah.
You slipping, leaving your duct tape sitting here on this table. I'm about to steal this shit.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now I think
Games like
about
that always
time.
bring the worst out of me. Like I'm a straight thief.
Me too.
I steal shit for no fucking reason. I don't need this busted up clipboard, but while you're not looking, I'm gonna steal it.
Yo, in Fallout New Vegas, I straight up killed the dude for his suit because he just looked so. He needed me to wear that suit. Like, and I used that. I killed him, wore the suit, and used that suit. I think to kind of persuade somebody to get me into New Vegas. It was something like that, to where I didn't even have to. I didn't have to do like the regular, I guess, way to get into the to accomplish the objective or whatever. I just kind of cheated my way because I killed the dude, took his suit, and that shit worked.
Damn.
And I
All right,
fucking
now,
love that
guys.
shit.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let this go on for a little bit, you know.
Oh, come on. Y'all talk about Game of Thrones all the time, man.
Oh yeah.
Jon
Yeah,
Snow.
that's what I was thinking about. Like, I'm gonna let it
And then you talk about killing people for their suit. Come about your suit, dude. Come about that shit.
That's how it was. I literally went into his. I can't. It's too graphic. But I went into his house and did the deed. Came out with a new suit.
Damn.
Everybody in the
Yeah,
town
games
was
like
like,
that just
everybody.
bring the fucking worst out of people.
It
I'm a
really does.
straight up klepto.
it's time for this
I'm
to
a
be about
straight
me.
up
Damn it.
klepto in that game.
I'm
Time for
done.
this to be about me. Everybody look at me.
Go, Kevin. It is time for your nerve ventures. What have you been up to?
Thanks, guys. So, nah, man, but I wrote all my shit down, and I don't know what happened to it on our Evernote. But trying to remember. Oh yeah, I went to see X-Men Apocalypse, and Dawn and I did a a quick talk about that before we hopped on here that the viewers can look at some point. Um, and yeah, I'm not going to talk about that too heavy. What I am going to say is that I'm starting to believe the conspiracy theorists out there who are saying that Disney is paying off all of these outlets to badly review non-Disney um, comic book films. I'm starting to believe it. I truly am, because the shit is not that bad. Is it great? Nah, but it's not that fucking bad. And like the things, the words that I read and hear when people are knocking some of these superhero movies, some of it is warranted, but then in the other sense, it's kind of like, what movie did you think you bought a ticket to? You know what I mean? Like, at some point, it's kind of like you go to see something like Civil War, and then you're like pleasantly surprised that there's like a lot going on there where it's deeper than just a superhero film, and you're impressed by it. And it's great to be impressed by a superhero film, you know. Um, so you know that's happened before, you know, The Dark Knight and Civil War and Winter Soldier, and you know, for some people, Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, stuff like that. That's a great feeling to have when you come out of a superhero film. However, for the most part, come on, man. I mean, this is not Saving Private Ryan and shit like that. Like, let's be real. I'm tired of this shit where people keep talking about. I'm tired of the word motivation. It's about time for people to everybody to start pretending that they went to film school. If you come out of a movie not understanding the motivation of a character, you have to take responsibility for that on your fucking own. You know what I mean? Like, in the case of Batman versus Superman, I cannot, you know, fully defend decisions that Zack Snyder made. Some of his decisions made it so that people legitimately were like, okay, what was the motivation for this character? But motivations are deeper than motivations such as like, you slapped me, so that motivated me to slap you back. You know what I mean? That's the way people are using the word motivation. But that isn't what motivation is when you're talking about a film. There's a lot of things that go into motivation. And that's why I can say, okay, if Batman versus Superman's plot didn't make sense to you, I can't argue, you know what I mean? Because Zack Snyder made some poor decisions. But if you want to start talking about Lex Luthor didn't have a motivation, then I have to say to you that that means that you weren't paying attention when he said, my father just died and he was a rich, powerful man, and I'm trying to fill those shoes. Superman just destroyed the fucking city that I'm from, and I have to deal with that too. I'm trying to be a great man in my own right. So he's dealing with trying to fill the shoes of his father, who was a great man, and not be second fiddle to a fucking alien that's in his fucking backyard when he feels like he's a smarter and more powerful man than both his father and Superman. If you don't get that, you weren't paying attention. So, like, if you just want to say, I wasn't paying attention because I didn't like how Zack Snyder made the movie, I'm not going to argue with you. But if you want to say he didn't have a motivation, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tired of reading these reviews where it's like, what was Apocalypse motivation? What was Magneto's motivation? It's like every so often there's a buzzword that goes into the consciousness of people who have no idea what they're talking about, and it becomes the thing that everybody wants to say. Um, and that's kind of just my nerd venture rant, real quick. Is that like X-Men Apocalypse wasn't great, but it's like, come on, man, that shit was not that bad. It's all about what you're comparing it to. And this shit is not Saving Private Ryan. This shit is not, you know, Driving Miss Daisy and shit like that. It's like, yo, Apocalypse like to transfer his consciousness to new people so that he can fucking live forever. You know what I'm saying? He called himself Yahweh and shit like that. So they trying to, if you don't get what it's saying, especially when his name is fucking Apocalypse, clearly the motherfucker like is they're alluding that he created the fucking earth, and every time humans get out of control, he kills them all and he starts over. So if you think of any of the apocalypses, like the fucking, flood that supposedly killed all of humanity and shit like that, just assume that he did that. And then what he's doing in this movie, it fucking makes sense to you. Stop making the shit so complicated. That's why you don't understand the motivation. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, and all of a sudden, everybody in America is fucking graduating from film school, and these fucking movies need to be like so goddamn perfect for people to like them. And sometimes you need to just realize you're watching X-Men Apocalypse, man. Come on now, come on, like Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Oh, sorry. Was
Yeah.
about to talk and
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm still recovering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that shit. That's why X-Men Apocalypse gets a pass for me, because it is an X-Men movie. So I agree with you. I remember hearing people going motivation about Lex Luthor, and that was like that's when I first started hearing the motivation thing. Now I hear it a lot. And now it's just uh like I remember not knowing what the fuck they were talking about, but then I remember thinking like, oh, do they mean? Oh, I think I kind of know what they mean, and I use it loosely myself, and I don't necessarily know what motivation means in the context of a film like that. So I'm like one of those motherfuckers who is saying motivation, and I don't really know.
That's kind of. I think at one point I remember hearing it like as like a spoof of actors, like a difficult actor. The director would be trying to tell the actor what to do, and they're like, "But what's my motivation?"
Yeah.
Like that's the context I remember hearing it in, and I think these people are taking that context and applying it to real life shit. And no, you don't
Yeah,
even know what
it's not
should be the motivation if you're asking what the motivation is. If you
right.
can't answer it, then you have no fucking clue what motivation is.
Exactly, and that's what it all boils down to. It's not as heavy as people are making it, and like so like plot and motivation. I mean, they're two different things. So a movie can do a good job of building motivations, but have bad plot. So like that's a big part of like when I bring up Batman versus Superman, and I can also bring it up in Apocalypse. The motivation is all there. It's the plot has holes and kind of things. It's like, why does this need to be happening? That's not the same as there's no motivation for the things happening.
Right.
Apocalypse motivation for what he's doing is very clear. Magneto's motivation for joining him is very clear, as is the other four, quote unquote, horsemen of apocalypse. You know what I mean? Um, Everybody's motivation is pretty fucking clear. I mean, filmmakers know how to get motivation right because I mean, that's all in building up the character. So like if and then when you're doing like three movies, that's the other thing that people like they're overusing motivation when it comes to these superhero films, but because now we're living in a world where none of these superhero movies come in ones, they come in threes, you know what I mean? And in the case of Marvel, every single movie is connected. Motivations are being built up from 3 or 4 movies ago. You know what I mean? So you can't
Mm-hmm.
just come in to one movie and be like, "Oh, I don't understand the motivation," because motivation is deeper than that. It's a character study, it's character development. All these things create motivation. If you want to say the plot was confusing, say that. Stop talking about these characters didn't have motivation and using that as a reason to give it a 27%, or 2 out of 10 on your Rotten Tomatoes. Like you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Right.
I agree. I agree with that shit, man. Because it really is a issue of plot or a problem with plot. I think with these movies, um, it's not the character motivation. I don't think so. I agree with that. I Since we're talking about BVS, are you gonna get the Ultimate Edition? Because I hear that has 30 minutes of unseen footage with that shit, and hopefully that can fill up
How the
some
hell
shit.
I would spend my money on that?
Huh?
Please tell me why the hell I would spend my money on that.
Cause it's a favorite movie.
Nah, bruh.
You talk about it all the time.
I talk about it so much because it's not that bad of a movie, and we just getting to a point where with these superhero films, the reason that they're going to end up being bad and they're getting bad, or I should say, end up being bad, is you can't come into these things wanting to see exactly what's already been done. I mean, filmmakers have to have the ability to do to make a movie, and you know, at the end of the day, you can get that wrong. So like, I'm not saying that these movies have to be universally liked. You can dislike it for whatever reason you want, but um and you have the right to say that filmmaker fucked that up. So I'm not going to argue with anybody saying Zack Snyder fucked that up, because that shit was supposed to be a slam dunk. You know what I mean? But some of the reasons that people don't like it kind of speak to something that you're going to get in any movie. You know what I mean? Every single movie is something that started on paper. So even if it didn't come from a book or comic book, it came from a screenplay. It started there first. You know what I mean? So taking it from that to something visual, that is the job of the director. You know what I mean? And they can either get that wrong or get that right. But if you're asking them to make exactly what it is that you wanted to see when you come to the movie theater, you're only going to get disappointed. So it's like, I feel like you kind of have to come into these movies with an open mind. You know what I mean? To allow yourself to, you have to, if you watch Batman versus Superman and allow yourself to just to be told a story the way that somebody else wanted to tell you the story, it's not that bad. It still won't be great, but it's not that bad. That's just,
we have very different opinions on what is good and what is bad. Like the reason why these superhero movies are, why people hate these movies, why people hated Batman v Superman, why people are gonna hate Apocalypse or hate it already, is because we went for so long having shitty superhero movies for so long, a long ass fucking time since the 80s and shit, and now they starting to get good with the Dark Knight, with the Avengers and so on, with the Disney movies, and then now you see them decline again, and that's what's going to contribute to the superhero fatigue. If these filmmakers, whatever you, however you want to call them, these people, they need, if they just listen to what the fuck the fans wanted in the first place, they will
but if
get
they
it
listen
right.
to what the fans wanted, we would have never got Heath Ledger as Joker. We would have never got Ben Affleck as Batman.
And if we had
These
did what the studios wanted, we would never got Deadpool. They didn't even want to release that shit until the test footage leaked, and they saw the
right,
fan response. You know what I'm saying?
which is true. But at the same time, fans don't always know what they talk about, and that goes with everything. I'm a big time sports fan, so um, you listen to sports radio and you will hear people say some of the most ridiculous shit ever. So if you just let people own these organizations, some of the shit that would happen in sports would be fucking beyond me.
But some
You
of
know
it
what I
will be
mean?
right though, right?
Very few of it, very little. You know what I mean? Uh, Everybody thinks they can be Kevin Feige, but few can. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, come on, man.
Well, I don't think I can be Kevin Feige. I think I can be the nigga at WB though, because
You
they
probably
make
could.
horrible decisions, man. They make horrible decisions with their movies and shit and their shows. It's so simple. Like with these comic books, it's all there written out for you. Like what Bryan Singer did to X-Men, like I hate him more than Zack Snyder, honestly, because of what he's done to X-Men. That is not X-Men really. But it's like I have nothing else in as far as movies to compare it to, so I gotta take what I can get. But that
What you
move,
could do, what fans should do, if you really don't like something, just don't go see it,
but
and don't
nah,
even talk.
it's not that simple. Cause I gotta go see it because it's an X Men movie. But
No,
if someone else made some shit that was X Men, like like if Marvel made their X Men movie, I don't care if it came out tomorrow or next year, I would go see that shit 10 times more than I go see Apocalypse, just because I know it's gonna be better. Cause it's a
just
studio that
just
actually
don't
likes
go
that shit.
see it, because if it don't make money, then they'll stop making them. And it's pretty much that simple. So like, if you really want people to stop making bad movies, or you really don't support something, just don't go see it. You know what I mean? Just wait for
Well,
it to
that's
come
how it's
out.
gonna be if they keep
Yeah.
making shitty movies like this,
Right,
and
and
that's what's gonna
that's what's
happen.
going to happen. But the pressure that fans give these movies are going to make them cripple. It's going to get to a point where not even Marvel will be able to please the fans, and I mean it's inevitable. So it's kind of like, people just got to chill out and let the filmmakers do what they want to do. And if they fuck it up, then just stop watching them. It's just like, just stop watching them, and then it'll all work out in the end. If they don't make money, they will stop
making the movie. It's that fucking simple.
Word up.
All right.
Amber in total silence, like, yep.
I was over here looking at, oh my gosh, Black Twitter is so fucking stupid. You know how they have all these pictures and they're like describing the different kinds of grandmas or the different types of aunties. I don't know if you guys seen that shit, but now they have different which girlfriend are you, like description of different girlfriends, whatever. Anyway, um so are we doing the trending tweets today or nah?
I put some on there. I don't know if y'all seen them.
Yeah, bad summer camp names. Oh yeah, I was looking at that too. So someone on here is like, um, this hashtag is inspired by his daughter's reviews on a vet camp that she went to this week, and today they were like looking at fleas under a microscope or some shit, and that's like the worst money ever spent. What the fuck is that?
Where they get the fleas from?
Shit, I don't know. Could probably order them shits like sea monkeys. They
Ew.
come in the mail.
Fuck that whole situation.
Just
I
add
mean, if
water.
that goes wrong, then you got fleas, man. I work for Terminex. You don't want to have fleas. That means you gotta like fucking like literally burn everything. No joke.
I'm sorry. I'm not sending my kids to no damn summer camp.
I
I
found
don't
one.
know what
Anakin.
the fuck goes on there.
I found one. Anakin Skywalker's weekend retreat for gifted younglings, and it's got the damn the the that's not funny, but the part where he goes to the Jedi temple.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry. Oh shit, that's fucked up. Anyway, Google that. That shit is crazy.
Sounds like a nice place to go and have your childhood destroyed by being raped.
About
Damn.
being what? About being what?
That's what it sounds rapey to me. You know what I mean?
I didn't get that
Summer camp in
at
general
all.
sounds rapey to me.
It does, but my mind just didn't go there at all. Here's another one, Camp Climax.
That actually
Drive-
sounds kind of fun.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Is it a adult camp?
It doesn't say that. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. That sounds
It has
kind
to
of
be an
weird.
adult camp.
Yeah, it has to be. Camp Crystal Lake. Camp Euthanasia.
Camp Donder Party.
Donder Party. What's that?
It's where it was like a cult, and I think they became cannibals and
Oh
they
wow.
ate each other or some shit.
John Cougar's Melon Camp. That's a good one. If you're a white person, Penn State Boys Camp. That's fucked up.
Ew, that fucking guy that was touching all them football player boys.
Yeah, clearly that's rapey. I'm telling you,
Tramp
that's the same
stamp.
thing that's going on in that Skywalker camp.
No, the Sky. That is not. No. Have you seen
For sure.
episode 3 where the nigga comes to the Jedi Temple and kills all the kids? That's why it was fucked up, because he
Damn,
kills all the kids.
son.
Oh, yeah,
And it said
yeah,
it said Anakin Skywalker's camp for young people. That's why I was like, that's fucked up.
Okay, yeah, I get it now. I was expecting it to be like,
That's like
You know.
Camp Sandy Hook.
Oh fuck! Oh no! Yo.
I've been saying a lot of wrong
Yo.
shit. This episode. If it doesn't get edited
Camp-
out, I'm so sorry.
But that sounds like a camp though. Camp Sandy Hook. Sound like a nice place where they got like a lake and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, fuck that.
My bad. All right.
Fuck summer camp.
I'm cold. I'm cold hearted, man.
You remember that show? It like when I saw what you put here on in our outline, I was like, it made me think of that summer camp show that used to come on Nickelodeon, and it made summer camp look super fucking cool.
Oh, Pete and Pete.
No,
That shit?
I know it's not Pete and Pete. It was like Camp Anawana or something like that. Or was
Oh,
it? Was that
Salute
Pete
Your
and Pete?
Shorts. Is that it? Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that was a shit.
That shit was dope. Like, I think when I was growing up, summer camp was like the shit. Cause they had that, and then they had like the kids' real world. It was Bug
Right.
Juice.
Oh
And they were at the
shit.
fucking camp, and it was seriously like real world. People was breaking up. People was
Yeah, I remember
just
Bug
shit.
Juice. That was rich. They had some good shows for kids back then.
Yeah, they made summer camp look cool, but I saw through that shit. Summer camp is not cool. I don't trust these fucking grown-ups that want to take people's kids away for 2 months.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never.
man,
Trust
that's
that fucking shit.
that shit happened to me. Like when I went to summer camp, I didn't actually go anywhere. I was like down the street at my fucking school and shit. Like I never like actually went somewhere. I don't get that. I'm not even with that. Fuck that. I would never let my kids do that shit.
I did Girl Scouts, and we went camping, but it was like a cabin thing, and it was only for like a weekend.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't do that. My mom let that shit go down. I wouldn't do that.
I don't
Nothing
think
happened or anything, but still.
I don't think black kids go to summer camp. I feel like that's mostly a white kid thing. They get on the bus and they go out in the cabin, and it's like that
Hey,
movie, The Parent Trap
I'm
and
sorry to
shit.
cut you off, but you know why? Did y'all fucking see that shit where the little girl went on a trip with her classmates and she's the only black classmate, only black student, and she goes and they have an accident, quote, where the damn swing got tied around her neck
Oh no,
and it like
what the
left
fuck
a
is that?
huge fucking burn on her neck. Fuck that.
Nah.
And they
That's
didn't tell
crazy.
parents until they got back.
Where's that camp at so I can burn it down?
Boy.
Burn that motherfucker down on the way to WizardCon. Like, do you know anything
I was
about the camp that got burnt down? No. This is me with Haley Atwell. You can just
What is
timestamp.
that about?
true.
Like,
That's funny though. That's funny as shit. Man, I was trying to think of bad camp names and I thought of Dick Shaft Camp. And
Yo.
that has led me to decide that we will very soon be releasing on Daydreamer's page a new character of mine called Dick Shaft. And I got some shit, boy.
Mm.
But yeah,
that
man.
actually sounds like a name.
Right, don't it? That's why
It
it's
sounds
like,
like a
man,
person's name. It's just very inappropriate,
Shaft.
right.
Dick Shaft.
Mr. Shaft.
It's like,
Oh my gosh.
got it.
So we're taking up so much time. I just want to tell this one thing. It just reminded me. I worked with this guy, and he told me a story about when he was in the Navy or whatever. And they call all the Navy people, they call them seamen. So this dude that was in his platoon or whatever the fuck you call that shit, they were in the same thing, and his last name was Staines. So that means they call him Seaman Staines.
Oh
What
my
the
God.
fuck?
There was this kid in my math class. His last name was Blue Ball, and
Oh,
I didn't know what
Last name was what?
Blue Ball. And
No.
everyone used to everyone used to call him blue balls, and I didn't know what blue balls meant until like years later, and I was like, damn, that was his name. Yo, like I thought it was just like a funny name, blue ball, but then I learned what the fuck that shit meant, and I feel sorry for him.
one of those names where like you can go through your whole childhood just fine, but it's once you actually become an adult,
Yeah.
you can like not be able to like you getting in fights every day.
Oh.
Craziness.
We used to call him blue balls too, and I thought it was just like his last name. I didn't know. I didn't know. We used to call that nigga blue ball.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm fucked up. That's fucked
Be
up.
like, damn, Blue, like you probably had like a terrible childhood. He like, nah, I'm pretty good. It's my adulthood. It's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, because everyone just thought it was all fun and games until we realized what it was.
Oh shit.
Craziness. Anyways, you guys.
He probably got blue ball tad on his arm right now. Like that's like the
Some
thing.
girl
to do.
does because she loves him.
Probably
I
in
love
jail.
him. His name is Blue Balls.
Mhm.
I put it on my lower back.
So he never gets
All
blue
right, guys,
balls.
let's get up out of here. We're
All
going
right.
on an hour and 30. Everyone who is listening, thank you for listening. Make sure to like and sub to the Chemical X channel here on YouTube. Don, Kevin, where can we find you guys on the social medias?
Find me at DONSGFX.
I'm at the Space Menace, spelled just how it sounds. No silly stuff. Also, make sure you follow us on at DDP_online. You'll get a lot more content from me there, and The website is up, so just start checking it regularly. And it may change a few times, but it's going to get stable in the next couple weeks. So start supporting it now if you like.
Yeah. ChemicalXLab.com.
Yes. Please go to chemicalxlab.com and prepare for all that good content that we are trying to throw up. You can find me at Nerdy Amber. That's nerdy with an I on the Twitters. So tell us down in the comments, who would you like to see as the new James Bond if you want to see a new James Bond movie. Also, let us know what you want us to talk about in our upcoming podcast. Be on the lookout. I know, Don, I think I spoke to you already. We're going to do some bonus episodes for E3
Yes.
starting in a few weeks or a little less than a week.
2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, I think.
Less than 2 weeks. June 13th or June 12th. One of those. Anyway, we're going to start throwing up videos talking about that. And also be on the lookout for my anticipated games for E3, a video coming out later on this week. So thanks for listening.
Dope. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Time comes across the Mad Hatter in the past and the hair and the March hair and the mouse at tea time. They are just straight roasting him. All kinds of time jokes. Great. That was probably my highlight of the week. Getting back to the weekend's plot. Time is chasing this girl, and while he's chasing her, he's literally starting to fall apart. He's dying because, as he told this bitch, if you take the chronosphere, time itself is
Daydreamers Unite.